one is all about what you are being led through. So what are you going through? What's on the other side? Why are we going through it? I really felt called to do this one. I mean, I feel called to do all of them, but this one especially. So I'm just gonna shuffle 3 cards, see which one you resonate with the most, and then I will put timestamps for each group down below. You know the drill? Here we go. Let's see. What is group number 1? Group number 1 has a raven right above me. So, wow, group number 1, are you going shadow work here maybe? Okay, card for group 1. We actually have Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups for group 1. Okay, group 2. That was fast. What do we have? 4 of Wands for group number 2. And group 3, let's see what your card is. Okay. We had 2 fall out, but I'm feeling this one. 5 of Cups for group 3. Okay, so group number 1, Ace of Cups. Group 2, 4 of, what is it, Wands? And group 3, whatever card calls to you the most, whatever card stands out to you the most, whatever you feel drawn to, pause the video if you need to meditate on them. And I'm going to get started with group 1. Ace of Cups, Ace of Cups. Group number 1. What are we being led through? What are we dealing with? What's going on? Ooh, group number 1, you're looking, excuse me. You're working towards some kind of goal. You're working towards some kind of goal, and I feel like it has this element of filling up your heart. I had the 7 of Wands come out, and you're like, please, I'm ready for this. Like, come on, I'm ready for this. I feel like, ooh, yeah, you know, so you know how we had the raven calling out earlier? I feel like you've really been doing the work. You've been defeating some kind of monster here. You've really been putting in a tremendous amount of effort into whatever this goal is right here. So I want to see what are we working with here? What have you been trying to cultivate? I feel there's this sense of you're trying to expand, either in fulfillment or your heart or something. Like in your experience, you're really trying to expand, because I feel like you've been very, very constrained or restricted in some kind of way, or like cycling in a pattern over and over and over. And it's just, for some people, I feel like weeds, like weed energy, as in plant, like things popping up in the garden that you don't want. That kind of weed energy. And what you've been trying to cultivate is this sense of like freedom, of aliveness, of growth, of being able to actually receive and feel fulfilled with what you receive, and feel nourished with it. Yeah, because I feel like there's this sense, for some reason here with the 7 of Wands, I feel like there's this sense of like, either you receive something or something in your life, it doesn't do it for you. For some reason, there's this sense of like, you get things and it's like, oh great, but you don't feel anything from it, which the Ace of Cups is all about emotional fulfillment, right? Like feeling things. You want to feel something. Okay, let's continue the story. Let me put one more. What is going on here? Maybe you've been trying to feel tender in some way, or more softer. Maybe you're trying to be a bit softer. Okay, well we have, what, 7 of coins and the High Priestess. 7 of coins, High Priestess. Yeah, this is something that you've been working at. You've been working at it, and like I said, you've been cultivating this. And what's with this priestess here? Yeah, this raven here. What I'm sensing here, this has been a pretty significant spiritual lesson here for you. This is significant spiritual growth in terms of like what you're moving through to get to this space, right? To get to this soft, emotional, feeling kind of energy. This has been a very significant lesson for you. It's been a process for you where, you know, this isn't one of those spiritual lessons where it's like, oh, I just have to uphold a boundary and then, whoo, that's it, I'm done. Like, lesson accomplished, completed, boom, let's move on. No, this has been a process to cultivate this. And it's in this, there's been a lesson here in this process for you to get to this goal. And I think part of it is understanding that it had to be a process, that you had to put time and effort and energy into it, that you had to grow into it. Yeah, very significant also because we had 2 7s for you. So it's been a very big spiritual lesson for your spiritual growth, even if it's not related to any like spiritual matter. This is like on a soul level, like this is a soul lesson that you had to understand here. Okay. So this is what we're being led through. Let's keep going. Keep going. Yeah, we had a third 7 come out. 7, 7, 7. I had the 7 of swords. 7 of swords. 7, 7, 7. Right. And then what else did we have? So we had the 3 of wands, and then we had the 2 of cups. What are we dealing with here? I'm really feeling drawn to this 2 of cups. 2 of cups. And cups, again, all about, even 2 of cups is all about emotional fulfillment, right? And it's like feeling, I want to say feeling unified for some reason. Like there's this feeling of union, of like something coming together and feeling whole and wholeness and full. And I think that's, for some, that's the journey that you've been on, right? Like you've been looking out. I feel more, it's not even like looking, I feel like this is where you've been progressing to. And for many of you, you know what this is because you've had your eyes on this goal for so long. And it's like, I just got drawn away from the goalpost image in my head. So I'm like, okay, interesting. Why did I just get drawn from that? Oh, yeah, big message here for some people is you're very, very, like, small picture. For some people, you're focusing a little too much on the small picture. You're being, your attention or your mind or your thoughts are only focusing on, like, what progress am I feeling right now? I feel like I haven't done enough. I feel like I haven't, like, I'm looking around and I'm seeing, like, I haven't made any progress, or like I feel like I haven't done anything. I feel like I can't see beyond the obstacle in front of me. I feel like I can't see beyond, you know, a day from now, a week from now. Like I just don't see how things are progressing or growing or coming in. Wow, yeah, I immediately got pulled away from that and drawn back into the small picture. And you know, that's a process too. Is that, remember, it's not even like remember, it's that big picture, small picture. Big picture, small picture. It's like, yes, keep your eye on the goal. And when you, trying to understand how to ground this down the way it's coming through me. You have your eye on the goal, right? The place you want to get to, the way you want to be feeling in your life, the way you want to feel emotionally. And then when you're doing the work, right, it feels like you haven't gone anywhere. The same thing keeps popping up day in, day out. You're just like, I don't even know if I'm doing anything. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if anything's happening. And it's kind of like, that's part of the process is, you know, you kind of oscillate between both. But when you get into that small picture space, remember to look back at your goal and you're like, well, remember, I'm working towards this. I'm working towards feeling this way. And all the little steps that I take, every little piece of work that I put into trying to get there is going to get me there. Like, it all counts. It all counts for something. Like, energy does not lie. You know, you put in the work. It's cause and effect. You know, it's going to accumulate in some place and somewhere and have that outward effect to some degree. And it really depends. You know, you get as much out of it as you put in. You really do. So, back to the cards. I just went, somewhere else intuitively. Back to the cards. Yeah. Dog here is standing out. It's like, stick to your goals. You know, stick to your goals. Some people here, I think you waver a little bit in either your commitment or your dedication to it just because you don't see a lot of outward progress immediately or within the time that you think it's going to show up. And it's like, just keep sticking to it. And I think many of you are getting messages, whether it be like clairaudiently or just the universe like throwing down a little validation for you, like, keep going, you're doing great. And, you know, for some people I'm sensing here that you are actually receiving some kind of validation that is showing you that you are opening up or softening, or your perspective is like changing, like ever so subtly, but it is changing. And so be aware of that, especially the subtle changes. It's not going to be boom, outwards all at once. It accumulates very, very slowly. And then at some point you begin to go, whoa, something feels different. Something's different. I've grown. Okay. Let's keep going. Group number 1. I love how we are starting out here. This feels so wholesome. This feels like, you know, even though you're going through a process, you're being led through a process, I just feel like you have such good energy within you and around you going through this. Yeah. Going through a process, you're doing the work. Horse, there's so much here about doing the work. And you know, I was about to get into this, is that it doesn't feel like you're really resisting it all that much. It feels like you are cooperating with the energy. It feels like you are doing your best to flow with it. I mean, obviously resistance coming up is natural, but I don't feel like you are running away from it. And that's the important part of it here. Just like how we had with the dog, you know, stick with it. Keep going, keep facing what you need to face, because you're gonna get there. You're gonna have to cross some rocky terrain, but you're gonna get there. Okay. Oh my gosh. The World. I love this card. This is probably my favorite card in the whole deck. The World. Now, isn't that what you're working towards? Getting to this state of feeling, of like, feeling free, feeling like I can receive, feeling like I can be myself, and feeling like, wow, you know, it's just so beautiful here on the other side of all of this stuff that I've had to like really go through, right? And you know, I think there's a sense here that's coming in for you that you begin to appreciate the beauty of all the work that you've put into it. You begin to appreciate the beauty of like the turmoil. You begin to appreciate, like, you know, there's a lot of beauty and grace and power and growth that comes out of really working through the difficulties, really working through the challenges, the pain, the hurt, you know, whatever it may be for you. And in becoming whole again, right? And going from broken to being whole. Wow. This is really wholesome. I really like this. The Chariot flew out. Pull one more. Ooh, the Magician. Okay. We had Chariot pop out over here, and then Magician. First thing I thought of with these two is it's like there is kind of this understanding of the, how should I say this? But it's like you kind of understand, or you realize, actually, more of a realization that you are gaining in that through the work, you can transform anything in your life. You know, I'm really understanding this. There's this sense of like, when I actually get into it and start flowing with it and start directing the horse, like and you know, keep at it, is what I'm trying to say. You realize that you can really, you're an alchemist of your life. You know, you can transform something into something else. You can transform your pain into something else. You can transform, you know, difficult past experiences into something more beautiful through the process, right? Through this process of your shadows. Okay, but I'm sensing a bit of there's a bit of challenge coming in here with this. So let me see what that is. I think sometimes in the journey you doubt this. I think sometimes the journey gets you down on yourself, where you're just like, I have no idea where this horse is taking me. I can't see anything. It's literally just running, and sometimes I feel like I'm not even holding the reins, like it's just going. And that's normal, right? You know, we all face those periods of doubt that come up. And that's normal. You know, it's like, think of it like a geyser, right? You know, or a volcano, I guess, but I think more of a geyser because it's cleansing. You know, every now and then the geyser fills up with pressure all the way to the top, and then it releases. And that's kind of how doubt comes up. You know, as you go through the process, you have to periodically release all these doubts. And it's a normal, you know, doubt isn't going anywhere. It's like, it's a part of this experience. But it's understanding that when it does show up, you know, it's like, don't cling on to it. You don't need to cling on to it. It's showing up. And, you know, you see it, and you're like, okay, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to understand why I'm doubting this first. And then I'm going to let it go, because I really feel this realization / understanding energy with the Magician is it's like the it's like a change in okay, hang on. It's understanding why you're doubting it in the first place, why the doubt is showing up in the first place. So it goes into, this is the card that takes me a little deep. It's understanding, okay, I am doubting that this is even possible right now because I've been working on it for so long that I just can't see anything else. And taking that moment to just detach yourself from it and be like, hang on, doubt is showing up. Why is it showing up? Why am I doubting this? And dissecting it from there. You know, it's all about asking yourself why. The why leads you deeper. And then when you get to the root of it, that's when you understand, and there could be multiple. There could be a lot of different, like you could end up having to ask yourself why many, many different times. And if that's the process that it that you need. That's the process that you need. It's about getting to the core of it and being like, well, I'm doubting this because I've never done this before. And it's like, well, there's a first time for everything, so I might as well just do it anyway. And that's how you get the energy flowing again, right? It's like shine the light on it. Understand why you're doubting, and then be like, well, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. And that's how you begin to veer into the light perspective. Okay. Anything else for group 1? No? I feel like that's it. I feel like that was it. That's the message for group 1. Let me know how that resonated in the comments below. Wow, wow, wow. I will see you in the next one. Bye. All right, if you chose group number 2 with the 4 of Wands, this reading is for you. Let's see what we have coming in. What are we being led through? What are we being led through? What are we going through? Oh my gosh. Screaming. All right. We had the 2 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords. All right. Getting all swordy over here. Interesting. I think I'm going to pull one more. Okay. What is this? Knight of Coins. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to tune in. Really interesting energy here. I almost feel like you're not really sure what you're stepping into. I'm really looking at this lady right over here, and she's kind of like, well, I don't know where my foot's gonna land. I'm not, but I'm going in that way. I'm not too sure, but I'm going there. And it's really interesting. It's like you're a little bit, like your body's moving forward, but your mind is still a little behind. Just because she's, yeah, this lady. So, I'm really being drawn to the tiger in this card, actually. Let's tune into it. You know what? I think you're a little bit on the, like on the alert, or being, something in your mind, I feel, is being very wary, is being very watchful. Like, yes, part of you is, I do feel kind of really flowing into some kind of new experience, and you are curious about it. But there's something internally that's also very tense. Like there's some kind of tension in regards to this, that you're still being very, very very watchful. I don't want to say mindful. This is very watchful. This is very wary. Like you are trying to protect something. I feel very deep down inside, there's still a sense of the wariness. That's really what it is. You're very wary. And I feel it is stemming out of some kind of fear. Or trying to understand what this is, but it is deep. So I'm going to have to dissect this a bit more. Okay. Where am I being led to? What's going on with that energy? Did I say Knight of Coins earlier? I meant King of Coins. I don't know what I said. King of Coins. I'm just gonna say, look at this fella's expression. He's very like, all right, I mean, I'm over here, and I don't know what's over there, but I'm just looking at my thing, right? You know what it is? It's very calculating. That's what it is. This person's like, I've got my books, I've got my coin, I've got, I've got what I need over here. And I just don't know, like, what else is... I'm very calculating of what I'm going to let into my experience. Not just anybody gets into my experience, It's very, like, selective, but not necessarily in a... I really don't want to say this is, like, a positive kind of selectivity. This is more like I don't want to... There's a fear behind it or something. Like, you're being very, very protective. A little overly protective of yourself or your resources or something here. Interesting, which makes sense because we had the Two of Swords, and she's also very, like, kind of keeping herself protected here. And the Five of Swords. Okay, this is all starting to come together because it's like some part of you is still turning away from it. Turning away from this new experience that's trying to come in. Okay. We'll keep going. Peculiar. Very peculiar. But you know what? Yeah, I want to know. What are we being led through? That was too many cards that flew out all at once. There we go. Death. Love this card. There is a transformation going on here. And I feel it's funny because the energy has very much, like, gone very quiet. And you know what it is? This is really interesting. It's gone silent. So I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean for you? This is interesting. I'm wondering if you've been in this space or if you need to be in this kind of space. I feel more so like you probably need to be in this kind of space to reevaluate what it is you want or what it is that you want to grow out of your life, because there's something here, like there's this like push and pull energy here, obviously, like you're moving towards something new, but you're also like, I don't know, something internally is still resisting it for some reason. And with as soon as this Death card came out, it's just like the energy just went silent. And I think this is probably the space you need to be in to ask yourself, like, okay, well, what do I actually want? What am I actually trying to achieve? What do I actually want to experience? What do I want to grow in my life? And it has to come out of this space. Like, it is necessary for you to be in this space when you ask yourself these questions, because your mind is going to go off like, oh, I don't know, I'm resisting, whatever mind chatter that you get, as we all tend to get it. But you really need to be in this space, like a safe, sacred space for you, where you can really get to the heart of the matter. Like, what do I truly want? It's almost detached in a way, but I kind of hesitate to say that because it's more like being able to... You're going to have to make a decision out of this space. You're going to have to see it out of this space. Okay, I'm going to go deeper with this because this is not surface level for you, group 2. This is not something super surface level, but I'm sure some part of it will get activated when you watch this reading. Okay. 8 of Cups. Yes. It makes sense. Oh God, all of it makes sense. It's like you're trying to head out onto this new endeavor, and yet something's like holding you. Something's holding you. Like, wait, don't let go yet. What? Why? We also had the Ace of Coins. Beautiful card. And you know what? I'm feeling this Ace of Coins is like whatever this is that's beckoning you into this new experience, into this new chapter, new level up. I feel it's this Ace of Coins because it's like, this seems so vibrant and so new and abundant and prosperous and just like so fulfilling, and it feels like everything you've wanted or more and more. Okay. And it's like you're wanting to head to it, right? But what is this that's holding you back? What is this? I'm going to ask, why is this? Not what is this. It's going to be different for everyone, so I'm going to ask, why is this? Why? Page of Wands. Why is this? Why is this? What's this Page of Wands telling us? Okay. There is some sort of... What is that word? It's kind of like hesitation, but it's like there's some sort of... something's causing you to hesitate. Something, because I feel like you are wanting, and like your energy is wanting to step into this. And you know, on some level, that this is good for you to move into this space. And yet there's something that's like you need to acknowledge or look at that's in your shadow, or like something that's still needing acknowledgement. I think it's something that still needs acknowledgement before you move into your next chapter. What else did I have pop out? 9 of coins. Yeah, 9 of coins. You know, what this is? Looking at her, it kind of seems like she's waving. Oh my gosh, please. It kind of seems like she's waving goodbye, right? So it's like something that still needs to be seen, something that still needs to be acknowledged, and either said let go of, or either to be let go of, or like, I don't even know if necessarily released, because the energy that I'm sensing here for you is more so like acknowledged and almost appreciated in a way too, because there's something there that's not letting you move on yet. That's just like, I'm still here, you haven't seen me yet. You know, it's like, pay attention to me first. I'm not gonna let you move on easily or happily before you look at me. And I just get the feeling like once you actually look at it and see it and understand it and appreciate it and it feels like there's something in the past here. It's something that you either grew from or walked through, and I think it needs to be almost like said, it needs to be appreciated and closed out. I feel that's what it needs. It needs that acknowledgement, like, okay, I went through this experience, or I had this whatever happen, and I grew so much from it, and I learned so much from it. Maybe it was challenging, maybe it was difficult, but you know what? It shaped me to be the person that I am today, and I can only appreciate it for that. And I feel with that, there's this sense of like, chapter closed, coming to terms. You know, it's just like that feeling like when you finally finish a book and you're just like, yes, I'm done. Like, wow. That's what it is. And it makes sense because it's a 9, right? It's like closing out. Yeah, it's like closing out a chapter. Wow, it's this feeling of like finality, like wow. And it's not, that's what I meant. It's not like getting rid of it and releasing it forever. It's like acknowledging and coming to terms and just like making peace with it. Because what's coming in? A whole new chapter. It's like, how can you move on to the next chapter if you haven't closed the last one? You're just gonna stay stuck in the middle of the book. So, anything else for my group number 2? Maybe one more. 9 of Wands. Yeah, another 9. Another 9. You know what? Yeah. Acknowledging that you've been through some stuff. Like, you've seen some stuff. Like, you've had some rough chapters, okay? Like, you've gone through some stuff, but now it's time to retire. Like, that's what I heard. It's like, okay, yeah, you know, it's like now you can take off, it's time to take off your armor and start a whole new chapter where you're abundant and literally retire, right? Like, from the old chapter. Whew, yeah, wow. Group number 2. Let me know how that resonated in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. All right, if you chose group 3 with this lovely lady in the 5 of Cups, this reading is for you. So let's see what we have. What are we walking through? What are we being led through? What do we got? Whew. Yeah, we've been thinking. Judgment, of course. Yeah, we've been through some journey. All right. What am I feeling here? You know, I feel this sense of like you're in this space, we're moving into this space of really taking count of all that you've done and everything that you've been through, all the work that you've put in, all the experiences that you've had, you know, all the growth that you've made. And I feel like you're in this state of really like self-evaluation, I want to say. You know, she's like sitting and she's got her hands clasped together and she seems very deep in thought. And I feel like this is you. And like to me, you know, the elderly always signify like an inner wisdom, right? And it's like you've gained a lot of wisdom through the process. And I think that you, at this point anyways, are sitting in this wisdom of yours, of everything that you've learned through your progress or process, everything that you've grown through, new perspectives that you found and that you've gained through the work or the shadow work or just, you know, whatever your experiences are. It's not limited to just shadow work, but just your experiences. And I think that there's a sense here that you're thinking like, okay, you know, I've gone through a bunch of stuff. I've gone through all this stuff. I've been learning from it. And now I'm kind of wondering what comes next. Me too. So let's find out. Let's find out. All right. Oh my gosh. 10 of Cups. Knight of Wands. Wow. This one. 8 of Swords. You know, initially before I started shuffling, I was really looking at this cow down here. And to me, that signifies abundance, prosperity. It signifies like new life. A lot of the time it gives me very much like Empress energy, you know, like Taurus energy. And what did you have come out after that? 10 of Cups. So even though you're in this contemplation mode of like, man, I've just been through so much, like I just don't know what comes next. You know, what comes next? Good things. You've earned it, right? Like you've gone through this journey, right? Whew. Wow, hang on. I'm being called to shuffle more. And the Fool fell out. Beautiful. Okay, right after it was literally the Empress. And then literally right after it was the Emperor. Excuse me. Okay, what? Wow. Oh, I just, like 2 seconds ago said, oh, Empress energy, right? Like, what? Okay. Okay. I can work with this. Wow. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's a changing of the season. A changing of the season. And you know, it makes so much sense because what happens when we culminate a chapter? What happens when we finally accumulate everything there is to learn about a certain phase in our experience? You know, when we get to that state of like, okay, when we get to this point where we've gone through so much and we're seeing everything from a new, like, wise perspective, and we've accumulated so much growth, and we're in this state of like evaluating, okay, I've all of this has gotten me here, all the work, all the process, all the everything till this point, all the lessons, all the learning. And now what do we get? We get like newness coming in, right? But for some reason, there's something like, for some reason, I don't feel this huge joy that there's like new stuff coming in. I feel a bit of apprehension almost of like, okay, well, like what's next? And I feel part of it is because you're at that phase of, oh, like I've walked so many steps in this journey. Like I'm kind of tired. I don't want to go through heavy stuff. I don't want to go through more heavy stuff after this. Like I kind of just want a break. And for some reason, it's almost like you're thinking there's going to be more challenge and difficulty coming right up next. And it's like, yeah, it will later, but not immediately next. Right? Yeah. So what I was saying is that there's this new like chapter that's trying to come in, right? And I think that you are a little bit, you haven't been in that space in a while. And so if you take a look, like see how she's kind of just like, you know, and it's an 8 card, which for me just, it feels like maybe, you kind of think like this, I think you've just forgotten. You've forgotten of what it's like to be in this like brand new space, because you've been growing through all of this for so long, and growth takes time, you know, so time is relative, so it's however long that you feel that you've been in this phase, right? Like it could be weeks, months, years, whatever it is for you. These darn batteries. Okay, all right, we'll keep going. So what is the next? Group 3, what do we need to know? What more do we need to know? We're being led through. What did I have? The Hanged Man and the King of Cups. Okay, well, like I said, you're going to be getting out of this energy. Like, it's almost like you're feeling stuck, but you're really not. And I think that's what you need to realize, is that you can come back to dancing with the universe. You're really, you're not stuck in this energy. You're not going to be here forever. Because there's a changing of, like, things are going to change. And, oh, okay, what do we have with this King of Cups? Hang on. You know what it is? I think you've gotten to this point. You've gotten to this King of Cups state where, you know, the whole journey about the cups is about, like, emotional, like, your emotions, right? And then when you finally get to the King, it's like you've learned all there is. You've gotten to the top, right? And you've understood, wow, here's an example. It's just like, I've really learned what I want emotionally. And, you know, I feel really wise about that, obviously. But it's like, wow, this next new chapter that's coming in, it's going to have this wisdom with it. Even though it's going to be like new stuff coming in, new people, new connections, whatever, new events, surprises, you're going to be carrying this wisdom with you now. This standard. That's a very, very, like, I hope you realize just how significant that is to get to the king level and then be able to carry that with you into the next chapter. Okay. Page of coins. Yeah, because you've been doing so much learning up till this point. You've been doing so much learning. And something here about this globe. Really interesting. I almost want to say it's like now that you've done all this learning, now that you've gone through all these lessons and understood, and obviously to some degree you have really sat with them and integrated them. Now I'm really getting the sense that it's time to take those out into the world. And I sense a bit of fear here for some people coming in where it's like, well, I just don't know if I'm ready, or I don't know like if I really have integrated them. But what I'm feeling here is this next chapter is coming in because you have integrated, because on a soul or cellular level or whatever you want to believe, it has already impacted your experience in the universe on a subtle level that maybe you don't fully even realize. But that's why this new chapter is coming in now, because you are ready. Because you are ready to implement it out into the world now. This globe. You're ready. Don't get stuck in that mindset of like, oh, I'm just going to be here forever. I'm just going to be in this state forever. Be in this wise old soul forever. Feeling old forever. This one. Knight of Swords. Ah, see? Yeah. It's time to take it out. It's time to take it out into the world, and it's time to... I keep wanting to say, like, wield the sword. But I think what I want to tell you here is you are much more well-equipped than you give yourself credit for. You are much more well-equipped than you give yourself credit for. So give yourself that credit. You're not going to falter. You're not going to waver. You already have that wisdom within you. So it's like, give yourself that credit, you know? Like, yeah, dang, I went through all this work and I learned so much. And you know what? Yeah, I could... Oh, gosh. It's this sense of like, it's time to really look at yourself and really believe in everything that you've accumulated to this point and all the growth that you've achieved to this point. Like, yes, you know, you're looking around and being like, wow, I've grown so much through these experiences. But no, really look at yourself and really give yourself that credit. That self-acknowledgement, I feel, is going to be so powerful for so many people in this group. Yeah, I feel like that's the note to end on for group 3. Oh my gosh. Let me know how that resonated in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.